Stop eating these if you want to keep walking strong in old age. Hey there, and welcome back to Elderly Care, the place where we talk about real health, real aging, and real solutions. If you're over 60 or care about someone who is, today's episode is one you can't afford to skip. We're diving into something we all take for granted, until it starts to vanish: leg strength. You may not notice it at first. A little trouble getting out of a chair, needing the handrail on the stairs, or stumbling a bit more often than usual. It creeps in, quietly. And while aging is natural, losing our ability to stand tall and strong isn't inevitable. What if I told you some of the foods we eat every day are quietly sabotaging our legs? Foods that many of us grew up with. Foods that feel comforting, easy, familiar. But they might be the reason we're feeling weaker every year. Let's talk about what those foods are, why they affect our muscles and bones, and most importantly, what you can do about it. We'll also hear some powerful real-life stories from older adults who turn things around and how you can, too. So grab a cup of tea, sit back, and let's dive in. Why leg strength matters more than you think. You know, a lot of people tend to think that losing leg strength is just an inevitable part of getting older. They chalk it up to aging, like it's something out of their control. But here's the thing: this couldn't be further from the truth. Sure, your body changes as you get older, but maintaining strong legs? That's something you can control, and it's more important than you might realize. Now, let's talk about why your legs aren't just for walking. Your legs are the foundation of your mobility, but they are also tied to so much more. Researchers at places like Harvard Medical School and the National Institute on Aging have consistently shown that your leg strength is linked to a whole range of things you might not have considered: longevity, independence, even brain health. I'm talking about cognitive function, here. It's easy to think about leg strength as just being about your ability to walk or move around. But think about it: every time you stand up from a chair, every step you take, your legs are supporting everything, not just physically, but mentally, too. And when your legs are weak, you lose a lot more than just the ability to walk long distances. The connection between leg strength and mental clarity is real, and it's something we should all take seriously. Take, for example, a study that followed over 1,200 adults aged 60 and up for over 10 years. The results were pretty eye-opening. Those who had weaker legs were at a significantly higher risk of falls, hospitalization, and yes, early death. Imagine that. Your leg strength could be the difference between staying independent or needing help in the future. It's that serious. But here's the thing that most people don't realize: diet plays a massive role in either protecting or destroying your leg strength. We'll get into the specifics of that soon, but the bottom line is, what you eat, or don't eat, has a direct impact on how strong your legs will remain as you age. This isn't just something I'm pulling out of thin air. I've heard countless stories from seniors, some from my own family, others from people I've met along the way, about how small changes in what they eat made all the difference. There was this one gentleman I met a while back, in his early 70s, who shared how he used to have a hard time even climbing the stairs. He told me, "I thought it was just part of getting older." But after he made some simple changes in his diet: more protein, fewer processed foods, more calcium, he found that his legs felt stronger, and that made a huge difference in his quality of life. He even told me that after just a few months, he was able to take walks around the block again. It's not just about getting stronger, it's about regaining that sense of independence. And that's what this is all about, isn't it? Feeling like you have control over your own body and your own life, no matter how many candles are on your birthday cake. We all deserve that, don't we? So, what can you do to protect your leg strength and, by extension, your independence? Well, it all starts with being mindful of what you're putting into your body. Diet isn't just about weight loss, it's about nourishment. Your muscles, bones, and joints need the right fuel to stay strong. And here's the kicker, it's never too late to start. In fact, research shows that older adults can still gain muscle mass and strength well into their 70s and 80s. But it takes the right approach, and yes, diet is a huge part of that. In the next part of this video, we'll dive into the foods that might actually be hurting your leg strength without you even realizing it. Stick with me, and let's uncover how you can fight back with the right foods and habits to keep your legs strong and your life vibrant for years to come. The silent killers in your kitchen. Now, let's get into some of the sneaky foods that could be secretly draining your leg strength. These may look innocent at first, but over time, their impact can be pretty huge. You might be eating them every day without realizing just how much they are affecting you. Let's break it down. 1. Refined sugars. Let's start with something that's tough for a lot of us to resist: sugar. Think about those pastries you might grab for breakfast, a can of soda you drink with lunch, or even that sweetened cereal you love. Sounds harmless, right? But the truth is, sugar is a silent culprit when it comes to your leg strength. Here's why: sugar causes chronic inflammation in the body. Inflammation, in turn, makes it harder for your muscles to recover and rebuild. So, every time you overdo it on the sugar, your muscles aren't getting the recovery they need to stay strong. I remember talking to a lady named Marge, a sweet 75-year-old who always had a sweet tooth. She said she used to snack on cookies and sugary drinks throughout the day, and she didn't think much of it. But, as she got older, she started noticing that her legs felt tired all the time. She could barely stand for long periods, and her knees would ache more than they used to. After cutting back on sugar and swapping in healthier snacks, like nuts and fruit, she said she felt a noticeable difference in her energy. It's not just about reducing inflammation, it's about giving your muscles the best chance to rebuild and grow stronger. 2. Fried foods. Fried foods, who doesn't love them? From fried chicken to French fries to that crispy battered fish at your favorite diner, these foods are a staple in many of our diets. But, while they might satisfy your cravings, they are not doing any favors for your legs. Here's the deal: fried foods are packed with trans fats and excess oils, which damage your blood vessels. Now, your legs depend on good circulation to keep your muscles fed with oxygen and nutrients. When your blood flow suffers, so do your muscles. You might notice your legs feeling more tired, sluggish, and even cramp up more often. Take Tim, for example. He was in his 60s and loved his deep-fried dinners, especially on weekends. After a few months of feeling more and more fatigued, he started noticing swelling in his legs. He went to the doctor, and sure enough, his circulation was taking a hit. When he switched to baking or grilling his meals, Tim felt more energetic and didn't experience the swelling anymore. It wasn't just the fried foods, it was the way they were damaging his circulation. 3. Processed meats. Hot dogs, sausages, deli meats sound familiar? These processed meats are loaded with sodium and preservatives, both of which wreak havoc on your body. For one, the high sodium content messes with your hydration levels, and when you're dehydrated, your muscles don't function as efficiently. On top of that, those preservatives can actually leach calcium from your bones. Calcium is critical for strong muscles, especially the ones in your legs. Without it, your muscles become more prone to cramping and weakness. I had a conversation with Dave, who's in his early 70s, about his eating habits. He used to love making sandwiches with deli meat every day. But, over time, he began experiencing more frequent muscle cramps in his legs, especially at night. He started cutting back on processed meats and opted for fresh chicken or turkey, and to his surprise, the cramps started happening less frequently. It's a small change, but it made a big difference for his legs. For excess salt. Salt is another one of those things that sneaks into your diet without you even realizing it. It's in canned soups, salty snacks, frozen meals, you name it. And while a little salt is necessary for your body to function properly, too much salt can cause big problems. Excess salt increases your blood pressure, and that puts extra strain on your kidneys. It can also cause you to lose potassium, a key mineral your leg muscles need to contract and function properly. If you're not getting enough potassium, your muscles can start to feel weak and cramp up. Take a moment to think about your own salt intake. Do you add salt to everything, or rely on prepackaged foods? Those habits could be doing more harm than you realize. I remember speaking with Linda, a retiree who loved her salty snacks, like chips and pretzels. She often found herself feeling lightheaded and weak in the legs. After reducing her salt intake and increasing foods rich in potassium, like bananas and spinach, she felt stronger, with fewer muscle cramps. It's these small tweaks that can really add up. 5. Alcohol, in excess. Now, don't get me wrong, I am not saying you can't enjoy a glass of wine here and there. A little bit of alcohol can actually have health benefits in moderation. But the problem arises when alcohol becomes a regular thing. Frequent drinking can reduce the body's ability to build muscle. When you drink too much, your body struggles to synthesize protein, the process by which your muscles grow and recover. Tom, a 68-year-old guy I know, used to have a beer or two every night. Over time, he started feeling weaker in his legs, and his muscles didn't seem to recover as quickly after walks or light exercises. After cutting back on his alcohol intake, Tom noticed that his muscle strength improved. It wasn't just that he felt less sluggish, he actually had more energy throughout the day. That's the power of moderation. So, what's the takeaway here? It's not about completely cutting out the foods you love, but about being more mindful of how often you're consuming them. Small changes can make a huge difference for your legs and your overall health. You don't have to overhaul your entire diet overnight, but taking steps to reduce sugar, fried foods, processed meats, excess salt, and alcohol can help you maintain stronger legs, better circulation, and more energy. And the best part? It's never too late to start making these changes. Your legs and your future self will thank you. Real-life wake-up calls. Let me share with you a story that really hits home about Dorothy, a 78-year-old woman from St. Louis. Dorothy had always enjoyed her nightly ritual of indulging in a bowl of ice cream and her morning donuts. I mean, who can resist a good donut, right? But over time, she began noticing something troubling. The simple act of climbing stairs started causing her a lot of pain. She thought it was just getting older, but when she visited her doctor, he mentioned a condition called sarcopenia, essentially age-related muscle loss. It was a wake-up call for Dorothy, and she realized something needed to change. So, she did just that. Dorothy decided to swap out her beloved sugary treats for healthier options, like fresh fruit. She also made sure to include more beans and leafy greens in her meals, which are great for muscle health and overall strength. After 6 months, Dorothy found herself walking half a mile every day with her dog. Just imagine that 6 months of simple dietary changes and she was back to moving with ease, something she hadn't expected. She said it was like she'd gotten a second wind in her legs. It's crazy how something as small as switching out sugar for fruit could have such a big impact on her daily life. Then there's Frank. Frank is 81 and lives in Florida. He had been a truck driver his whole life and, like many of us, never really got into cooking. His meals mostly came from frozen dinners and deli sandwiches. Now, Frank wasn't one to complain much, but after falling twice in 1 year, his daughter decided it was time for a major change. She stepped in, and together, they started overhauling his diet, cutting down on the salt, reducing processed foods, and introducing more homemade meals. Within 3 months, Frank had more energy than he'd had in years. He was back out on the water, fishing every weekend, which was his favorite pastime. It was such a simple thing, eating fresher, less salty foods, but it completely turned his energy levels around. He even joked that his fishing buddies didn't believe he was 81. Now, both Dorothy and Frank are just 2 examples, but they are far from isolated cases. They show us how small, intentional changes in our diet can lead to remarkable improvements in our daily lives, especially when it comes to muscle health and strength. It's not about dramatic, overnight transformations. It's about those little shifts in your routine that build up over time. Researchers have been saying this for years, and these real-life stories prove it. Just like Dorothy and Frank, many people start with small changes, cutting back on sugar, reducing processed foods, and adding more nutritious options. And before you know it, those changes add up, helping you regain strength, energy, and confidence in your legs. We all have the power to make these adjustments. It's not about making huge sacrifices, but about being a little more mindful of the foods that go into our bodies. And the best part? These small adjustments can make all the difference when it comes to maintaining strength, improving balance, and living a more independent life as we age. So, next time you're about to reach for that sugary snack or convenience meal, remember Dorothy and Frank. Small changes like swapping out sugar for fruit or cutting back on salt can have a profound impact on your leg strength, energy, and overall quality of life. It's never too late to make that change, and the results can be life-changing. Foods that build leg strength instead. Alright, let's shift gears for a minute. We've been talking about the foods that can harm our leg strength, but now it's time for some good news. The beauty of the human body is its ability to bounce back, especially when you give it the right fuel. So, let's talk about the foods that can help you strengthen those legs and keep you moving with ease, and the best part? These foods not only help your legs but are also cruelty-free and kind to the planet. One of the most powerful foods you can incorporate into your diet are leafy greens. Think spinach, kale, and collard greens. These are packed with vitamin K, calcium, and antioxidants. Now, I know what you might be thinking: do I really want to eat a salad every day? But it's not just about salads. You can toss these greens into smoothies, mix them into soups, or even saute them with a little garlic and olive oil for a simple side dish. They are so versatile, and trust me, they'll do wonders for your leg muscles and joints. Vitamin K plays a huge role in bone health and joint flexibility, and those antioxidants? They help fight off the free radicals that can contribute to inflammation in your body. Then there are beans and legumes. This might sound like a simple choice, but don't underestimate their power. Beans, lentils, and chickpeas are high in protein and fiber, which are essential for muscle building and repair. The protein helps keep your muscles strong, while the fiber helps with digestion and keeps you full longer. Plus, they are one of the most sustainable foods out there. I love a good bean stew, or you can throw them into a salad or make some homemade hummus for a delicious snack. The possibilities are endless, and your muscles will thank you. Next up are berries. Yes, those little antioxidants-packed wonders. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, they are not just delicious, they are also great at fighting inflammation naturally. Inflammation is one of the biggest enemies of muscle recovery, especially as we get older. Eating berries can help reduce this and keep your muscles feeling strong. They are perfect in smoothies, on top of yogurt, or just eaten by the handful as a snack. Another powerhouse food for your legs is plant-based options that are rich in omega-3 fatty acids. You can still get your dose of omega-3s from plant-based sources like flax seeds, chia seeds, and walnuts. These provide anti-inflammatory properties that help with joint health and muscle function. Plant-based omega-3s work just as well as fish to reduce inflammation, and the added benefit is they are cruelty-free and great for the environment. Whether you sprinkle some chia seeds on your salad or add flax seeds to your smoothie, you're getting the same muscle-boosting benefits. Now, let's talk about something many of us love: dairy alternatives like almond milk, coconut yogurt, and soy-based products. These are great sources of calcium, a vital nutrient for bone strength, and many are enriched with additional vitamins like vitamin D. You can use almond milk in your morning cereal or coffee, or enjoy a bowl of coconut yogurt with fresh fruit. These alternatives not only support bone and muscle health, but they also avoid the negative environmental and ethical impacts of traditional dairy farming. And don't forget about sweet potatoes and bananas. These two are a dynamic duo for leg strength, packed with potassium and energy-boosting carbs. Potassium is vital for proper muscle function, and it helps with muscle cramps, which are something many older adults deal with. Sweet potatoes are not only tasty but also provide a steady supply of energy, while bananas are easy to grab for a quick snack. Throw a banana in your smoothie, or enjoy a baked sweet potato as a side with dinner. Either way, they are doing wonders for your legs. These foods are all about nourishing your body in the right way, making sure you're getting the nutrients your muscles need to stay strong and healthy. The key is consistency. Incorporate these foods into your daily meals, and you'll start seeing the benefits in your energy, strength, and overall well-being. And remember, it's not just about the physical benefits. Eating these foods that are good for your body and kind to the earth is an act of self-care. You're giving yourself the best shot at living independently and staying active for years to come. Plus, the choices you make when it comes to food also ripple out to make a positive impact on the environment and our fellow creatures. So why not enjoy some healthy, nourishing food while doing good for yourself and the planet? Expert tips to rebuild strength without the gym. Let's get one thing straight. You don't need a fancy gym membership or a personal trainer to rebuild your leg strength. Sure, those things can help, but the truth is, simple, everyday activities can make a huge difference. Strengthening your legs doesn't require anything extreme. It's all about consistency and making small changes that add up over time. Let's start with something as simple as brushing your teeth. Yep, you heard me right. Try standing on one leg while you brush your teeth. It's a small change, but it challenges your balance and works your leg muscles, especially the ones that help stabilize you. You might not realize it, but standing on one leg engages muscles in your hips, thighs, and even your core. It's a great way to sneak in some strength building without even thinking about it. And while we're on the subject of standing, think about how often you use elevators. I get it, sometimes you just want to get to your destination fast. But here's a tip: take the stairs. It might seem like a no-brainer, but walking upstairs is one of the best exercises for building leg strength. It's low impact, it's functional, and it really works your glutes, calves, and thighs. Start with 1 or 2 flights and work your way up. It'll feel tough at first, but as your muscles strengthen, you'll be amazed at how much easier it gets. Now, let's talk about those everyday moments where you're just waiting around. Waiting for your coffee to brew? Perfect time for a few squats. Do 10 squats while you wait. It doesn't matter how fast you do them, what matters is that you're using that time to move your body. Squats are one of the best exercises for building leg strength, and they are easy to do anywhere. You don't need any equipment, just your body and some space. If you have a little more time and want to dive deeper into mobility and strength, try incorporating some chair yoga or resistance band exercises into your day. You don't need to go to a studio or hire an instructor. You can find plenty of chair yoga routines online that are gentle on your joints but effective for building strength and flexibility. Resistance bands are another great option. They are inexpensive, portable, and can be used for a variety of exercises that target your legs. You can do seated leg presses with bands, or even add them to your squats for extra resistance. But here's the thing, no matter how many exercises you do, none of it will matter if your diet isn't on point. Think of nutrition as the fuel that powers your workouts. It's impossible to out-exercise a poor diet, so make sure you're eating the right foods to support your leg strength and overall health. Keep those nutrient-packed foods like leafy greens, beans, and berries coming, and avoid the things that could sabotage your progress. The bottom line is, you don't have to go to a gym or do anything drastic to start rebuilding strength in your legs. It's about being consistent with small, manageable changes that you can easily fit into your daily routine. And remember, you've got this. Every step, every squat, and every small adjustment counts toward building stronger, healthier legs, and that's the kind of foundation you need for staying independent and active as you age. So, start today, even with the smallest of steps, and watch how far you can go. Your legs, your life, the gentle truth. Let's be real for a second, this isn't just about muscles or diets or getting more steps in. It's about your life. The ability to walk across your living room without fear of falling, to get down on the floor and play with your grandkids, to stroll around the block just because the sunset looks nice. That's not just mobility. That's freedom. That's dignity. And you deserve to hold on to that for as long as humanly possible. And believe it or not, it starts with the quiet little decisions you make each day, like what's on your plate. You see, food isn't just fuel. It's information. Every bite you take is sending a message to your body. It's either helping you rebuild and grow stronger, or slowly chipping away at your foundation. And you don't need to overhaul your whole life overnight to change the message. Start small. Maybe tomorrow morning you reach for a warm bowl of oatmeal topped with berries instead of that old sugary cereal. Maybe you try a lentil soup instead of heating up another frozen meal. Maybe you swap that third cup of coffee for some calming green tea. These are small shifts, but over time, they create big waves. And if you're thinking, well, I've eaten this way my whole life, isn't it too late? Absolutely not. The human body is beautifully resilient. I've seen people in their 70s and 80s turn things around completely. Stronger legs. Better balance. More energy. It's not a miracle. It's just giving your body what it's been quietly asking for all along. You don't need meat at every meal to build muscle. You don't need dairy to get calcium. You don't need to sacrifice your values to get stronger. Plants are powerful. Whole foods nourish your muscles and joints without harming animals or the planet. And your body knows what to do with that kind of care. So yes, your legs matter. But this isn't just about walking. It's about staying connected to the world, to the people you love, and to yourself. You're not just eating for today. You're eating for the dances you'll still get to enjoy. The flights of stairs you'll still climb. The independence you'll continue to protect. Thank you so much for spending time with me here on Elderly Care. If any of this resonated with you, give it a like, share it with someone who might need a little encouragement, and subscribe for more honest, science-backed talk about staying strong, aging well, and living fully without guilt, without pressure, just love and small steps. Until next time, take care of yourself.